Jackie and Dr. Vicky, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hi, thanks for joining us. This is Flush Your Fat for Good, to be lean and healthy for life. My name is Jackie Paget Barrett.
And I'm Dr. Vicky Arcady.
And we're excited that you guys are watching us at this time. And this will always be recorded. So anytime that you want to come back and watch the show, it'll either be on as a podcast list on our category page on flushyourfatforgood.com, which is the number 4good.com. Or if you go to latalkradio.com and you look for us under the video shows, you'll be able to scroll down, find us, and watch the podcast again. Or we always post it on Facebook, especially in our private Facebook. We have
Correct.
a private Facebook.
Flush Your Fat for Good Buddies private Facebook room.
Okay. So, I don't know about you guys, but the holidays are taking a toll on me. It's crazy. We live in Los Angeles, so when it takes you about, 10, 15 minutes to get from one place to the next, it's now 3 hours. So
yeah.
We're going crazy.
Snort.
Yeah. Today, what we decided to talk about is toxins. And I always found it fascinating that when a man cries in his tears, if he's stressed out and he's angry and he's got emotional issues, he has toxins in his teardrops. But if it's from tears of joy, then they're pure. Now, I don't remember the study with men and women, but I remember they were talking about what happens with the men because they hold it deep inside, their toxins, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We have a website that I just mentioned, flushyourfatforgood.com. We have over 23 videos explaining what Flush Your Fat's all about. And also, we're in the kitchen cooking up the storm on the staples that we want you to stay on for regular eating. And also, we have a storefront in which you can get many things that we're going to talk about a little bit later. The thing about Flush Your Fat for Good is not just to lose fat, right?
No.
But if you're 20 pounds over fat, it's linked to approximately 23 health conditions. That's why we say Flush Your Fat for Good, to be lean and healthy for life, because it's really about a lifestyle for a lifetime. And we have 8 pillars of the foundation of this lifestyle. And if you follow it to a T, your life is never going to be struggling. You're not going to be craving. You're not going to not know what to eat. It's you're going to have. Is this in your way? Jesus.
Yes.
You're going to have optimal digestion, absorption, and elimination.
Yes.
Okay, I know we say this on every
serious.
show. Come
we're
on,
laughing,
you guys.
But we're having fun, but it's
well,
serious.
yeah.
It's really serious.
I mean, some people don't have bowel movements, but every other day, or only one a day,
or once a week.
Oh.
I read that in some of the literature.
Really?
This week.
But listen, guys, this is not a diet.
Mm-mm.
This is not a 30, 60, 90 day, let's give it a shot until the wedding shows up or the party or the holidays. This is about a lifestyle to where you don't ever struggle again. Mm-hmm. You think sharper. You sleep deeper. Your moods are better. I'm so depressed. No.
No, they are better.
No, they are better.
People become happier.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Especially because your hormones are better regulated. And your body is starting to feel happy about what's happening with better digestion, absorption, and elimination. Mm-hmm. We're so dead serious about this. That's actually the wrong way to say it. But I always ask how old you want to be when you take your last breath. You have to think about that. Every time I say that to somebody, they're giving me, yeah, but, these yeah butters. Yeah,
I don't know.
We have phase 1 and phase 2. And in phase 1, we have specific situations that you have to follow the rules, okay? And we put you into a habitual ritual so that you know exactly what you're doing every minute of the day, because we're all about rapid, fast, safe fat loss, okay? It's got to be safe. Rapid fat loss can be dangerous. We're not into that. We've read about that many times. But rapid, safe fat loss.
Rapid fat loss, rapid weight loss with calorie restriction is not good.
No.
We talked about that on one of our other podcasts, 2 ago, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's our podcast was calories versus quality. You guys can watch that. That's a good one. But we're very, very serious about this lifestyle. We actually wrote a book, and our co-author we're going to shout out to right now, Kathleen Powell.
Kathleen.
Woohoo! This was a labor of love, and trust me, it was laborious. But it was a labor of love because it's really important that the 60 years combined information that Dr. Vicki and I have is really important to get out to the world, okay? Because obesity now, we are the number 1 in America.
Yes.
Mexico is now number 2. It was number 1. But Mexico's leading cause of death is type 2 diabetes. America's second cause of death is type 2 diabetes. Now, that's just ridiculous.
That's preventable.
Yeah, it's all
with
preventable.
Diet and lifestyle.
Right.
Mostly lifestyle.
So we have a workbook, and we'll show you that a little bit later.
Talk
but
about that later.
We want you guys to jump on the bandwagon with us and be one of our buddies. If you're going to, it's late in the game, so I'm pretty sure everybody's mindset is, oh, it's holidays, it's parties, it's Christmas, the Christmas cookies, the treats. A lot of you with your mindset are probably not prepared to do a change of a lifestyle. So if it's really about that, then January 1st, what does everybody do? New Year's resolutions. So we're going to be doing a New Year's resolution podcast for you all.
Yes.
But you have to gear yourself up. You've got to get yourself in the mindset that you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and fat.
Right.
Because every single year, it doesn't get better, it gets worse. And you lose about 15% of your digestive enzymes every 10 years. So every year you're not digesting better. You're gaining fat. You're not sleeping as well. You're not thinking as well. And I bet you 10 to 1 you're not doing 3 to 4 bowel movements a day. And you're sluggish. You're not as high energy as you should be or as happy. And that's what this lifestyle brings to you. And so today, what we're going to talk about is, this is Did You Know That, which is Dr. Vicki's segment, every podcast. Did you know that? Did you know that toxins can make you fat? But when Dr. Vicki's like when E.F. Hutton speaks, and I know I'm dating myself. Some of you people don't know what I'm talking about. Some of you people do. And when E.F. Hutton speaks, that was a commercial when somebody's at the restaurant table and another table, they're starting to talk about their financial investments, and one of the guys at the table says, yeah, well, my investor from E.F. Hutton says, and then the whole restaurant goes quiet and wants to hear what did he learn from E.F. Hutton.
Actually, we need to unlock the phone first.
Hello. Well, we have somebody that
phone is
just
that?
called in. It's not mine. But so when Dr. Vicki speaks, then she's going to
It's
give
the peanut
you.
gallery.
Somebody's listening. I'm glad.
It's not. It might be Santa.
I don't know. I'm turning off my phone
Anyway.
just in case. So, Dr. Vicky is like E.F. Hutton, okay? Y'all get that? And she's done a ton of research today on toxins.
Oh boy.
Listen
You
up,
guys.
because this is not a joke, number one. Number two,
This is
you're not
fun.
going to get this information anywhere else unless you do your own research with the kind that she does. You're not going to be able to do it. And also, it's life or death,
I'm surprised at what I found out.
really. Because we discussed
We ready
this.
to go?
Yeah, we discussed this and we go, what are we going to talk about today? And we both decided, you know what? People don't know about this, but we need to talk about
It's
toxins.
ridiculous. Are
So,
we ready to go?
yeah, knock yourself out.
Okay. So we're going to talk about toxins and fat gain and what you need to know. So, Alan, you can put the toxins. You got it up there.
We
Okay.
have the great engineer.
Okay.
the
so
greatest.
I'm going to do this kind of like a lecture tonight.
Okay, right
So
on.
how do you know if you're toxic? Well, you have unexplained fatigue. You have sluggish elimination. You have irritated skin, allergies, low-grade infection, puffy eyes or bags under your eyes. You ever seen people with really dark circles and bags under their eyes? Toxic.
Yeah, and I thought about liver, right? When people are toxic liver, they'll have dark circles under their eyes, maybe.
Not necessarily. It could just be the toxins.
Oh,
Bloating, menstrual problems, mental confusion. And if you look at that, the toxins there, you can see some of the things. Of course, we know about pesticides and chemicals and tin poisoning. That's from your canned goods. Fluoride. Guys, you cannot do fluoride toothpaste. It's poison.
oh boy.
Fluoride is poison.
Now we're into controversial.
Okay, diesel fuel, you know how that affects you in the airports, hydrocarbons.
Yes.
BPAs, you know, a lot of these are in your shampoos and things like that. Then you have your lead from paint and your lead from the emissions from the cars. The children that are, 4 foot high, they get all the lead is like from here down, the concentration of lead. So the toddlers, if they're in this area, they're going to really get the lead affecting them. Mercury, of course we know. If you're a smoker, over 4,000 chemicals.
Oh my God.
Exhaust and pollution, that's what I just said, but that includes the lead. Ammonia and manganese, they're showing a cocktail there. So insect pesticides, that's kind of repeating. Flame retardants and perchlorethylene, which is dry cleaning, which is really, really bad. And aluminum and parabens. The parabens you put on your skin. If you see any skin products or topicals with parabens, you
Yeah,
cannot
like
have them.
methylparaben, right?
Any kind of paraben.
Any
Methyl,
kind?
paraben, you don't want that. Okay. So that's something you do not want. Your stubborn fat tissues are not a result of too little exercise or overeating. Instead, it's a product of toxins. Toxins from your diet, from your home, from your environment. Toxins make you fat.
Yeah.
Worse, toxins keep you fat.
Really? Why
Who
not?
knew?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, how a toxin exposure leads to fat gain? When the body, listen to this, guys. When the body is exposed to large amounts of toxins, levels that the body cannot safely excrete, as you take in the toxin, your cells have to cleanse your body and get it out. If it cannot safely excrete through the body's natural detoxification pathways, it stores these toxins in the adipose tissue,
Right.
the body fat. The body does this to protect us from toxicity issues arising from these harmful chemicals. If the levels of a certain toxin were to become too high, overburdening the liver, we would become sick or worse, die. So what happens is the body will make body fat as a storage unit to store those extra toxins.
Okay, wait. The body will make
fat
Oh my God.
because it's a
a storage tank.
It's a safety mechanism because you could die from toxins.
So wait, the body makes the fat if you are overly toxic to store the toxins in the fat cells.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Okay, next slide, please. You'll see what is a toxin and how the body processes them. Toxins can be split up into two groups, and you can see on here, you can take a look at this while I'm talking about this. You have the fat-soluble toxins on the left and the water-soluble toxins on the right. The water-soluble toxins are easily handled by the body. With the help of our kidneys, we can excrete these through our urine, sweat, and bile. Cran flush. This is why we do the cran flush and flush your fat for good, okay? Fat-soluble toxins are a bit harder to eliminate. These fat-soluble toxins, including heavy metals, man-made chemicals, pesticides, pollutants, plastics, and more. All the common toxins that you can think of are the fat-soluble ones. And you can see those on the left side. And you can see that the fat-soluble toxins have an affinity for fat cells, bone marrow, liver, central nervous system, and the brain. Not good.
Not good.
Not good. For the body to eliminate these toxins, they have to be processed by the liver. Of course, see, the liver's in the middle.
Yeah.
And to become water soluble. So they get filtered through the liver so they can become water soluble. Next slide, please. So what happens is, I have all these.
I'm following you.
Yes.
What's next? Oh, yeah.
So what I wanted you guys to see the next slide because it's so important. Last week we did our podcast on the nutrients that we recommend in Flush Your Fat for Good. You can see on this slide that the fat-soluble toxins have to have required nutrients to go through the steps to get the waste products in the water-soluble to be eliminated from the body, okay? So you have to have required nutrition, required nutrients. This is why when you're dealing with fat, you're dealing with toxins also. Any way you look at it, whether it's calorie restriction, doesn't matter if you diet, you're dealing with fat, and fat holds the toxins, okay? So you're going to need your B vitamins, your folic acid, glutathione, antioxidants. You can use milk thistle only for 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And carotenoids, vitamin E and C, those are antioxidants also. And glyconutrients is one of the ones that we highly recommend because those go into the cell and they actually help you to produce the glutathione, which is the biggest antioxidant you can have in your body. And you can see the amino acids also, which we focus on digestion, absorption, and elimination. And our foods, we have a lot of protein in our program, which break down into the amino acids. You're going to be covered there. And you're going to have phytochemicals from your organic, fresh vegetables and fruits that we mandate every day for you, 2 or 3 times a day. And a lot of cruciferous vegetables are necessary. Sulfurated phytochemicals and garlic and cruciferous vegetables are necessary to help you get through the steps to detox and eliminate from in the body through the gallbladder, the kidneys, the bile. The bile carries out the toxins. Did you know that?
No.
So when you eat fried foods and you clog up the bile, you're gonna feel horrible. Not only because of the fat and the bile and the overworking of your biliary tract, but you're also going to feel the toxins that you're exposed to. And we're exposed to water, food, pesticides, air. Everything has toxins, around us. It's all around us. So the liver plays an important role in the toxic load, and we talk about this in our book. It's really important. The liver, which I just mentioned a little bit, produces a substance called bile, which is stored in the gallbladder. The gallbladder is simply a storage tank, and it has numerous roles, one of which is digesting fats, and the other is to aid in toxic elimination.
Wow.
So who knew, right? So it helps us to eliminate the toxins through our poop. The bile is what makes your poop dark. It's from the bile.
Kind of green, too.
Do you want to expand? No. Okay. In the case of an unhealthy digestive system, a congested lymphatic system, these toxins cannot be processed. When you eat fatty foods and you thicken the bile, you are not going to have your lymphatics working. I have had so many kids that I've treated have pizza, and the next thing you know, they're sick. They get sick because their lymphatics get so thick and clogged that it can't process, everything that it needs to, and the bile is so thick as well. So it's really, it's a double whammo, and you can be exposed to any kind of
They don't know why they're nauseous either. They get so nauseous.
So the liver is under a lot of load. The bile it produces is thicker and less effective, which I just said. And this is when our toxin to body fat mechanism kicks in. Slide number 4, please. You're going to see the abdomen there, and you see that there's subcutaneous fat, intra-abdominal fat, which is also known as visceral fat. That's the fat that's all around your organs. But research has proven that a buildup of toxins in the body can bypass the liver processing and end up stored in the body fat tissue. These sites of accumulation can be considered as storage depots. Just like a manufacturing plant will store toxic waste in a warehouse until a truck can come and take it away for processing. So remember, I have read studies, and there is research now that is saying that the visceral fat, which is here intra-abdominal fat, labeled there, the visceral fat, they're considering that as its own organ, and it produces fat. So
That's
crazy.
crazy.
With everything we taught you in the last podcasts, before this, how your insulin resistance and how if you eat bad foods and sugar and all that stuff, your visceral fat will make more fat. And it's a survival mechanism for for the body to put roaming toxins into a safe place to lock them up, and the fat is where it locks up, and the organs and tissues are protected from the damage. So
this is why they say the visceral fat is so lethal.
Right.
I mean,
so
visceral fat suffocates your organs and even your heart, but to know that they're making extra fat and storing the toxins.
So
in
not
there.
only does this cause unsightly and unhealthy body fat, but these bound up toxins can cause inflammation and health issues in the body and brain. Remember the fat?
Yeah.
The fat soluble toxins go in the brain. Not good. So, could we put up slide number 5, please? This is something that I just cannot believe. It's called obesogens. Obesogens.
God, they have a name for it now.
Like obesity, but obesogens is a term that was coined in the University of California, Irvine in the year around 2000. And obesogens are hidden chemicals that make you fat. And obesity is the rising problem in America, and it's really taken a toll on our kids. According to the Environmental Health Policy Institute, 17% of children and youths in America are obese. Lack of activity, poor diet, and genetics are frequently blamed for this, but other factors in the environment can affect the weight gain of our youngest citizens. So what is research in recent years has shown that an increase in chemicals in our diet could be contributing to the obesity epidemic we are now facing. So these are part of a growing list which they call obesogens, which obesogens are certain endocrine disrupting chemicals that affect the body and creates stored fat, which could be contributing to this epidemic. So you will see can we put slide number 5 up, please? Low doses of these endocrine disruptors, my lips
Say
move.
that 3 times.
They do move.
Disruptor,
Okay.
disruptor.
Can actually have a worse effect than high doses. Did you hear that? Low doses of these endocrine disruptors can actually have a worse effect than high doses.
Why is that?
So where do you find these obesogens. I couldn't believe this.
Obesogens. I mean, that's like an entire new word now.
So, yeah, if you take a look at the chart, you see chemical pesticides.
I'm looking at this. I can't believe it.
And these are chemicals that can be they're probably in your tap water. They have been shown to build up resistance to insulin in rodents and can lead to diabetes, just the pesticides. Now, soy is listed there, but they're talking about GMO. GMO soy, and the animals that are not grass-fed are given GMO soy in the grains, or corn in the grains, which is also GMO.
Right.
And it makes them fatter. And where do the toxins hide? In the fat. So in the animals, it's going to be in the cattle. It's going to be in the fat also.
And if they're using pesticides on the grass or whatever they're being fed.
So they recommend that if you eat soy, you have to do non-GMO soy. BPA, you'll see that on the chart. Studies have shown that this chemical found in cans, medical devices, and cash registered receipts. You know that smell on the cash may increase abdominal fat and glucose intolerance in animals.
Oh my God.
In addition, studies have shown that canned tuna can have some of the highest levels of BPA. So you have to be careful. You have to get the good tuna, that's doesn't have the tin.
No, Trader Joe's talks about that on their
yeah,
labels,
they have it on their
right? Now say it right there on their labels.
PFOA, which I don't know what it stands for, but it's a chemical in non-stick coatings like Teflon. And you can, microwaving your popcorn bags contains a large amount of it. Carpeting, clothing, backpacks, luggage. It's even been found in the water. Phthalates, this is a known carcinogen. Vinyl, it's found in plastic and vinyl. Toys, wall paint, air fresheners. Those air fresheners that you plug in, not good. You don't want those. You don't want those. They're very toxic. They smell good, but you don't want those. You need to use essential oils in a diffuser. Thank you. Just filling in the blanks for me. So, numerous beauty and personal care products also have phthalates. It's PHTHALATES. You can see it there on the chart. Now, something that's not on the chart is HFCS, which we talked about. High fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
Number one, high fructose corn syrup is going to be GMO, genetically modified, because most of the corn, unless it says it's not, is GMO, period. So you have to see that it's non-GMO.
You just have to take it for that.
That's right. You have to be suspicious, always. Right. This is one of the worst. Let's see. This controversial sugar that keeps cropping up on our list of bad guys is a suspected obesogen as well. It's not on the chart, but there's a lot of debate as to whether the body actually metabolizes this product like it does sugar. But one study at Princeton showed that rats drinking high fructose corn syrup gained much more weight and had more weight-associated issues than rats fed sugar water. So it's even,
well, I mean, they're putting that even in the sodas.
MSG, MSG is another hotly debated obesogen. We know that in some countries they kill the dogs that they eat with MSG. They give them a teaspoon of it and it kills them. So it's a neurotoxin. People that are very sensitive to it, it affects your nervous system and their heart rate will race. It's very dangerous. I mean, it's very dangerous.
When you go into a restaurant, especially Asian restaurant, you have to make sure you ask them, do you use any monosodium glutamate or MSG?
Correct. TBT is in vinyl products and fungicide. We're going to talk about some fungicide studies in a minute. Bactericide, pesticides, wood, textiles, carpet. As you can see, they're everywhere. Artificial sweeteners, we did a whole show on that. You know about that. Antibiotics, this is very interesting. Mice fed antibiotics, especially the females, gained twice as much body fat as the control group of mice who had the same food. We already know that antibiotics can play havoc with the gut bacteria. Right. And they are fed to non-organic livestock animals. So you're going to have, where do the antibiotics get stored? It's a toxin, right? in the fat.
fat.
So you're going to get it. That's why we don't recommend cow dairy. You're going to, it's everything is in the water and it's pasteurized, and unless it's people just cannot absorb. The only people that can really absorb dairy are blood type Bs, and we don't. That is up for
Grab.
that's
That's
controversial
up for controversy,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's put up number 6, slide number 6, the little rat. You can see fat factors. A mouse's exposure to certain environmental chemicals can lead the animal and its offspring and grand offspring to be overweight. Obesogens such as extensively studied fungicide, like I just talked about, TBT, can actually, in a variety of ways, act to promote fat storage and adipose tissue production, often by disrupting hormonal signaling. Such effects have been well documented in animal models and human cell culture, but the impact of these compounds on people is still unclear. Slide number 7, please. You'll see that when you do have these in your system, you can see that little rat's fat liver that has the toxins in it and the DNA down below. It will go from generation to offspring to offspring to offspring to generation to generation to generation.
So you're passing it on to your children.
Yes. So how do we protect ourselves? Well, let's summarize what we know first, and then I'll go through how to protect yourself, okay? Let's summarize what's going on here. Toxins are either water-soluble or fat-soluble. Fat-soluble toxins require processing by the liver before they can be eliminated. Storing toxins in the body fat is a protective mechanism for when the body cannot safely eliminate the toxins. Can you believe that?
No,
that just
that's
blows
no.
me away that the
Yeah.
body will do that.
And that's why some people
we
think,
wondered why that
right,
happened.
they don't understand why they keep gaining.
Or they can't get
Or
that.
they can't lose.
They can't lose. And if you're stuck on a plateau and you can't lose, just on our, if you're one of our buddies, just keep it up. It's probably the toxins, and you have to make sure you drink your cran flush. You have to make sure you eat your fresh fruits and vegetables, all organic, and you have to do what we tell you to do, and eventually over time take your supplements, and eventually it's all going to come off. It didn't get there overnight.
The supplements are going to be essential.
Essential, you saw that. It's necessary for the very elimination of the toxins.
Mm-hmm.
An overburdened liver or poorly functioning digestive system, digestion, absorption, elimination, can both lead to toxins being accumulated in the body tissue. These stored toxins are more likely to be stored in subcutaneous fat because that's the fat that's right under the skin. That's the first place they're going to go. The toxins will remain in the body fat tissue if the toxic load is high, irrespective of the dieter being on a calorie deficient diet. I mean, even if you starve yourself, they're going to remain there.
Oh.
So you have to, it's a process, okay?
That's why, flush your fat for good, be lean and healthy for life. On these diets and the calorie restricted diets and all these other kinds of diets, they're getting thinner and thinner and thinner, but they still have the toxins in fat that is under the subcutaneous, or in the subcutaneous.
And lastly, rapid weight loss can cause health problems when stored toxins are released back into the circulation.
Yeah, you can see that.
And if you look, when we look at that one slide that shows where all the toxins will go is the skin. They go into the skin. They go, they go from enter through the lungs, enter through the skin, enter through the gut and intestines, go through the liver, and then it comes out on the skin. It comes out through the kidneys, comes out through the colon, comes out through the lungs. These are all ways that the body's going to eliminate it. So, what can we do about this? How do we protect ourselves from these obesogens?
Yeah, you
My
gotta
goodness.
lock yourself up in a closet.
If this that's why you need your glyconutrients,
Right.
because that protects your cells. These nutrients go inside the cell and protect the cell.
And your antioxidants you have to have.
Yes, absolutely. If this is troubling to you, it's for good reason. Not only are obesogens all around us, but most articles I read viewed this as an expanding list. It's not a static list. Future research may uncover more chemicals that act as obesogens as further studies are done to determine how we can conquer obesity in America. So, there are concrete steps to take to reduce your exposure, okay? And this is what we can do to protect ourselves. Remember, it's a process. You have to be aware. The first step is to be aware, but number one, and these are all the things that we...
And you have to want it.
You have to want it.
You have to have the desire. Now that you have the knowledge, if you have the desire, then like she says, it's a process, and little at a time, because the life of a red blood cell is every 4 months. You cannot detox all in one day.
Okay.
And like you just said, it was dangerous.
Yeah, so what you want to do is eat organic.
Okay.
That's what we recommend, that you eat organic. If you're going to the store, like right now, it's not hard but or difficult, but the variety of fruits are not as they were in the summer.
Right.
So you just have to get hard to chew fruits in our program because of the fiber. Now that's going to scrub the colon, and they're low glycemic. But more than that, they're organic. Get whatever is organic and eat that, and make sure it's low glycemic. Avoid tracking pesticides into your home. Take your shoes off when getting into the house. When you step into the house, take your shoes off, because it's all in the lawns and the streets. And they mention here that GMO grass is a new danger.
What?
That may be coming into your lawn.
GMO grass?
Grass. And remember, Roundup?
Yeah.
Roundup never goes away. It's in farmed salmon, farmed fish. It's in their feed. It never goes away. So do never, never, never use Roundup. It's very dangerous. Next, eat grass-fed meat.
Yeah.
And get the grass-fed butter, grass-fed, anything grass-fed as far as we know the goats eat.
Especially
grass.
for that
Yeah.
CLA, right? And
Yes.
you want to make sure it's not the grains that are being fed to the cows.
Use cast iron, ceramic, stainless steel, and to
Yeah.
check the stainless steel, you put a magnet on it. Make sure it's stainless steel. And glass to replace Teflon. No Teflon.
What do you mean glass? Like the
Glass
porcelain?
to cook in.
Glass?
Mm-hmm.
Like porcelain?
Ceramic, porcelain.
Ceramic? Okay.
If you're baking something, use
Yeah,
glass.
right.
Eliminate canned food products and microwave popcorn.
Ugh.
Dump the vinyl, they said. This includes backpacks and luggage. Look for canvas and organic blends. Eliminate plastic. Use glass and stainless steel containers whenever possible. There goes your Tupperware. Well,
Yeah.
Tupperware is...
No, they have the BPA.
Tupperware, you look for the...
safety.
Yeah, you look
Secure.
for the safety label, which Tupperware does have. So it doesn't leach in the plastic. That's why we have glass
Right.
Boss bottles, because we don't want that
But
plastic.
I mean, if you're getting at the Dollar Tree and they don't have that insignia on the back of your little
Yes.
Tupperware things.
Filter your water, and everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I hope.
Well,
Reduce, or actually eliminate GMO soy. Eliminate GMO soy. Get rid of it. Have non-GMO soy. If you're drinking the soy milk that doesn't say non-GMO, you need to, or organic, you need to, unsweetened, you need to
well,
dump it.
that's part of our program. Non-GMO, unsweetened, organic.
Do not consume HFCS, high fructose corn syrup.
No.
Just don't even do it. It's in packaged food. Look at the labels. It's everywhere. It's
Right.
everywhere to make things taste good. Stop using the artificial sweeteners. And remember, all these sweeteners will trigger the sugar addiction in the brain. It doesn't matter artificial or high fructose corn syrup or plain sugar.
Yeah.
It's going to trigger your sugar.
Erythritol, mannitol, stevia,
Yes.
any of these.
MSG, no. You have to ask when you go into, Chinese restaurants or Thai restaurants or whatever. No GMO. And look on the sauces, because sometimes it's in there. Use antibiotics minimally. You know, the best way to minimize antibiotics is to stay healthy. You eat good, just like I mentioned, the steps. You eat good, you get your sleep, like it's one of our pillars, our 7th pillar. You exercise, you do everything in a healthy way, and you create a lifestyle so you don't have to take antibiotics.
And
period.
you supplement with things that support your immune system.
And did you know if you take antibiotics, it can take up to 6 months to replace that healthy gut bacteria?
And it's the bacteria that digests your proteins, so that is a double whammy.
Buy safe furniture, mattresses. You can sometimes smell the mattresses that are, you know.
Yeah, if they're cheap.
If they're cheap, you smell it. Obesogens may seem like they're everywhere, but following the organic and healthy diet, paying attention to your gut bacteria, and detoxing your home can go a long way. You know, we have learned that carpeting, you just get, you did it. You just take the carpeting out and have the tile floors or put down the wood floors or whatever, but just get rid of the carpet, because that holds the toxins also. I mean, your house was so toxic before you did that.
I know.
In addition to your body's endocrine disruptors, neurotoxins, you have to get rid of these obesogens as much as possible, because it affects your brain. You're going to make fat. You're going to stay fat. Who wants that? Read the labels on the beauty products. Make sure you just don't do packaged foods. I mean, it's just frozen foods. It's
processed.
It's
and
got
it
junk
be,
in it.
Yeah,
it's
you
old.
can't trust it.
You can't trust it. And cook fresh and eat fresh, and look at Flush Your Fat for Good has the blueprint. We provide the education to you to make a healthier, safer lifestyle for you and your family. And I urge you, I mean, I'm just horrified at what I learned, but I urge you to, visit our website, check out what we're all about, and the workbook is $15.95. Get the workbook now, look at it through the holidays if you're going to have some time off, put it in your bathroom, put it in by your bed, and just kind of flip through it. And
the thing about this is, if you go to fleshyourfatforgood.com, and this is our website, and we have Starter Kit 1 with the GLA, CLA in it, and then we also have Starter Kit 2. But this is the workbook. She's right. This is the blueprint.
$15.95.
And you become a member of our private Facebook room, and you can ask a gazillion questions. People show their recipes. People show their before and afters.
She's 95 years old.
And I feel great.
The Teeter commercial.
And I feel great. I'm always scared when he jumps.
I know.
I never. But anyway, the bottom line is, for you to have to figure this all out by yourself, forget it. We've already done it. We've made it so easy for you, and we want you to join us.
And the GLA and CLA are fats. They're omega-6s, omega-3s, and guess what? That's how you enter the fat cells, because the walls of the cells are fat and inside is water. So this helps ferry the nutrition in there. It helps to break up the fat cells for you, helps to burn the fat cells. And we run out of time.
Okay. We want to thank you for joining us.
I hope you guys don't. We gave you some steps. Just try to, try to take the steps to be healthier. That's all you have to do, really.
Yeah, and we want this for your 2019, and we'll be there all the way with you. So thank you for joining us, and until next week, God bless.
God bless everybody. See you.
You're listening to Flush Your Fat for Good with Jackie and Dr. Vicky, only on LA Talk Radio.